Hello, I'm Jed, and I'll be streaming tonight. Hoping it's not echoing for you because it's echoing for me. Not entirely sure how this works, so practice makes perfect at the end of the day. Right, let's get started. Good morning. I am Jed, and this is my YouTube channel, where I am being creating videos about monsters from the past. Arguably, storytelling has been around for generations for people. Most stories are there to explain how certain things happen, whether it's a threat, or whether it's an event that happened in the past, for them to be able to explain why that happened. E.g., I know the results are that the crash of the Titan War, that Greece experienced a huge earthquake at that particular time. And that was what explained why there was. So I've literally just picked 3 videos that I've already made, which then I'm gonna show and then try to give you a little bit more information on my research that I've done. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. Obviously, this is my first go at live streaming, so I hope I need to get a little bit more comfortable, and hopefully I can do some more of these. But we'll see how it goes. Right. So let's go to the first one. The first one I've handpicked randomly is giants.
Giants.
I've got to...
Giants. Giants. From the tallest peaks of myth to the pages of ancient history, enormous beings have stomped through the stories of nearly every culture on Earth. But what is it about these colossal figures that's kept us fascinated for thousands of years? Let's take a mythic world tour and find out. First stop, ancient Greece. The Titans, primordial giants older than the gods themselves. Cronus, the king of Titans, swallowed his own children to keep his power until Zeus, his son, turned the tables. Then there's the Gigantes, fierce warriors born from the earth itself, who battled the Olympians in a clash for control of the world. Don't forget the Cyclopes, those one-eyed brutes who forged thunderbolts and terrorized heroes like Odysseus. Head north to Norse mythology and things get even wilder. The Jotnar, frost and fire giants, embodied chaos and raw power. The first giant, Ymir, was so massive that the gods used his corpse to build the world. And when Ragnarok arrives, giants and gods clash in the ultimate battle between chaos and order. Hop over to the misty Isles of Britain, where legends say giants built Stonehenge and carved the land itself. There's Gog-Magog, the mighty giant bested by Corineus, and the tale of Jack, who climbs a beanstalk to outwit a giant high in the clouds. These stories gave supernatural explanations to things our ancestors just couldn't explain. In the Bible, the Nephilim are mysterious giants born from unions of angels and humans. So awe-inspiring, they sparked entire books of speculation. And of course there's Goliath, the Philistine giant, toppled by a shepherd's stone. In Hindu epics, Daityas and Rakshasas, sometimes as tall as mountains, battle gods endlessly, blurring the line between demon and giant. Across the world, Native American legends tell of first people who were impossibly large. The Paiute people spoke of the red-haired Saiteka, giants who warred with their ancestors. In every culture, giants seem to be woven into the very land itself. But why? Well, giants often represent nature's unstoppable forces, mountains, storms, earthquakes. Their defeat by gods or clever humans is about more than heroism. It's a story of chaos yielding to order, the unknown tamed by courage and wit. Think of Jack and the Beanstalk, brains over brawn, right? When ancient people found giant bones, which were actually mammoth or dinosaur fossils, they saw proof their legends were real. Even explorers once claimed to meet tribes of towering humans. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to blame some mysterious stone monument on a race of giants? Today, giants stomp through pop culture in everything from Game of Thrones to Attack on Titan. They're symbols of our wildest fears and dreams. The ultimate what-if lurking in our collective imagination. So the next time you hear a tale of giants, remember it's not just about size. It's about the big questions. Power, chaos, and the quest to understand the world around us. And maybe, just maybe, a little awe at the wonders hiding in the shadows of myth.
Right, coming back to this. So Giants is obviously a well-known from around the world. The originally they reckon that giants came from the idea that woolly mammoths, because woolly mammoth skulls actually got a hole in the centre of the skull, and originally they thought they were cyclopses. Don't ask me about the big horns, but originally they obviously thought that they were giants because the big hole and the eye. Giant. So obviously, you've got the Irish giant steps, which are rectangle stones. That circle stones, stone circles are all originated from giants. Yeah, of course. Every culture has its own giant story. Most of them are godly figures. Others are more intamed. But giants, and there are obviously giants are also in religious texts as well. So it comes. Right. Is there any questions on that one? I can search up quickly. But I think that video sums up everything that all the research that I've done for it. Oh, sorry, the giant causeway in Northern Ireland. Big stones. It's 8 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in shape of stones, and they all go into the sea. Look like stepping stones. I don't think I've got anything on that one. So let's go on to the next one that I pre-prepared. The Hydra, the Greek mythology of Hercules. One of Hercules' immortal trials. Now, these are one of my older
Let me tell you
ones
the
as well,
story. One of Greek mythology's most infamous monsters, the Hydra. This isn't just a snake with attitude. This is the Lernaean Hydra. Picture this. You're in ancient Greece, standing at the edge of the murky swamps of Lerna. Locals whisper that this marsh is the gateway to the underworld, and right there, lurking in the shadows, is the Hydra. A gigantic serpent with multiple heads. Some say 5, some say 100, but the classic tale, 9 heads, each deadlier than the last. Now the Hydra didn't just bite, its breath was poison, its blood was toxic. If you cut off one head, 2 more would sprout back instantly. It was regeneration taken to a terrifying extreme. Poison and unstoppable regrowth, a deadly combination. Enter Heracles, Hercules. On his list of 12 labors, the second task was to slay this beast. At first he tried slicing off the heads, but like a really bad game of whack-a-mole, they just kept coming back. Double. Here's where it gets clever. Heracles' nephew Iolaus tags in with a torch. As Heracles chops off each head, Iolaus sears the stump with fire, stopping any more from growing back. Finally, when only the immortal head is left, Heracles buries it under a massive rock. Problem solved, for now. But the Hydra didn't disappear when the myth ended. It became a symbol, a warning about challenges that get worse the more you fight them. Greek thinkers used it. Roman thinkers used it to talk about political rebellions, to talk about personal vices. The Stoics saw it as a lesson in resilience. Struggle makes you stronger. When Christianity rolled in, the Hydra got a makeover. It stood for sin. It stood for heresy. All those evils you have to stamp out completely or they'll just keep coming back. Fast forward to the 1700s, scientists find a real Hydra, a tiny freshwater creature that can regrow its whole body from just a piece. Name sound familiar? These little guys became the poster child for regeneration research. Inspiring studies on immortality, inspiring studies on stem cells. And let's be honest, monsters this cool never stay in the past. The Hydra pops up in medieval art, in Dante's Inferno, and all over modern pop culture. Dungeons and Dragons, God of War, Percy Jackson, Marvel's Captain America, Hydra, the shadowy organization. Because if you strike one head, 2 more will take its place. So next time you hear the word Hydra, remember, it's more than just a monster. It's a symbol of persistence, overwhelming odds, and the wild power of regeneration. From ancient myth all the way to modern science and storytelling. The Hydra began as a mythic monster, evolved into a symbol of persistence and multiplying problems, then became a biological model for regeneration, and sparked real science into how life repairs itself. Today it lives on in stories, games, and symbols. A monster, a metaphor, a microscopic marvel. The Hydra keeps returning in new forms, and it still has something to teach us. Like, subscribe and dive into more myths, and thanks for watching.
So that was one of my earlier works. The Hydra. Hydra, a dragon, or snake-like creature with 9 heads, that if one is amputated, the head would grow back into 2 other heads. So constant regeneration, and that's why the bionic creature was named the Hydra because it regenerates its body. Obviously, this was one of the trials of Hercules, or Hercules, whatever way you want to say it. No, I think it might not be. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Hydra. Right, going to the next one. I've got 4 online, and then because I'm pretty much trying to test and make sure that it's all working, and then I can pre-prepare. So if this is, hopefully all the sound's working, because the last one I did, the sound didn't work. Right, so next one.
Have you ever heard the legend of the Pishtaco?
North American.
Picture this. You're wandering the misty Andean highlands. Have you ever heard the legend of the Pishtaco? Picture this. You're wandering the misty Andean highlands after dark. The only sound is your own footsteps. Suddenly, out of the shadows, a pale-skinned stranger appears. Sharp knives glinting, his eyes fixed on you. That's the Pishtaco, the infamous fat-stealing killer of South American folklore. The name comes from Pishte, a Quechua word meaning to behead or to cut. But the Pishtaco isn't just a butcher. He's a haunting symbol of fear, exploitation, and the dark side of progress. The Pishtaco is almost always described as an outsider, pale, well-dressed, carrying strange tools. He stalks lonely roads at night, searching for victims. And when he finds them, the horror begins. He drains their body fat, cold unto, leaving them lifeless and hollow. But here's where it gets even weirder. In the Andes, fat isn't just body tissue. It's sacred. It's a source of life, energy, and spiritual power. Having it stolen is more than just a crime. It's a violation of the soul. Stories say Pishtacos use this fat for all kinds of disturbing things, making soap or oil, selling it to sinister outsiders, or even using it in strange rituals. Some tales claim church bells and machines run smoother when lubricated with human fat. So what's really going on here? The Pishtaco legend is a mirror. It reflects centuries of pain and distrust. First Spanish colonizers who plundered Andean riches, then missionaries, then foreign corporations extracting gold and labor. The Pishtaco's blade isn't just about fat. It's about everything being taken, leaving people empty. And as the world modernized, so did the myth. Suddenly, the Pishtaco is a scientist, a doctor, a government agent. Trucks full of fat thieves roll into villages. Stories of biomedical experiments or sinister cosmetic companies swirl through the mountains, fueling real fear. In the 1980s and 90s, these rumors exploded. Panic swept villages. Foreign aid workers were attacked and run out. Even in 2009, Peruvian police claimed to bust a gang that murdered people to sell their fat for cosmetics. The case turned out to be a hoax, but it showed that the Pishtaco's shadow is long and dark. This legend isn't just Peruvian either. In Bolivia, the fat stealer is called Cariciri. In Quechua regions, he goes by Nakak, the cutter. He might be more vampire than surgeon, but the terror's the same. And across it all, the Pishtaco endures. In horror films, novels, whispered stories by the fire. He's a warning about outsiders, about unchecked progress, about what's lost when something vital is stolen away. So next time you walk alone through the Andes at night, remember, the real danger might not be what you see, but what you feel. That chill running down your spine, and the ancient fear that someone, somewhere, is coming for what keeps you alive.
Right, so the Pishtaco, South American folklore. I heard about this first time when I watched Gwyn, actually, because Gwyn had one on there, obviously modernised, but the fat stealer. Basically, in South America, the body is and so the fat stealer would basically murder you and steal your fat for. Explained a bit basically it was a fear of outsiders, really. Outsiders and wealthy elite and organ trafficking. It is a little bit of so yeah, I'm really lost. yeah, yes, this. Right, let's move on to. Right, this is nearest to me because I live near this one land. English dragon.
Ever heard of a place where the water's so dark no one's ever found the bottom? Near the village of Lyminster in Sussex, there's a pond just like that. A place called the Knucker Hole. And if you'd lived there a few hundred years ago, you wouldn't have gone anywhere near it because that's where the Knucker lived. A dragon, not the fire-breathing sort, but a huge winged serpent with eyes like wet coals and a taste for livestock, crops, and in the worst tales, unlucky villagers. Now, it wasn't for lack of trying that the people left the Knucker alone. They threw everything at it, arrows, traps, even fire. Nothing worked. Every time they thought they'd wounded it, the dragon just slid back into the water, unstoppable as ever. Enter Jim, not a knight, not a noble, just a farm boy. But this is what I love about English folklore. Jim didn't try to outmuscle the monster. He went to his kitchen. He baked the biggest suet pudding you've ever seen, heavy, steaming, and laced with enough poison to kill anything that breathed. He dragged it to the edge of the pond, left it out, and hid. The Knucker couldn't resist. Out it came, and gulp, 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 down went the pudding. A few heartbeats later, the beast writhed, thrashed, and died. Did the story end there? Well, depends who's telling it. Some say Jim was carried shoulder high by the villagers, honoured as a hero, maybe even knighted. Others say the dragon's dying breath or the poison itself killed him too. And they buried him in St. Mary's Church, under a plain slab that people still point out today. There's even a version where Jim cuts off the Knucker's head to prove the kill, only to touch the venom and meet the same fate. That's the thing about these old tales. They're never settled. The word Knucker comes from the Old English Knickor, meaning water monster. These Knucker holes, deep bottomless ponds, dot the Sussex countryside, each with their own secrets and stories, and local legends always find a way to tie a hero to a real place, a stone slab in a church, a pond in a field, so the story sticks around long after the truth is forgotten. Today you'll find the Knucker all over pub signs, village festivals, children's books, even reenactments of that poisoned pudding. If you ever find yourself in Lyminster, ask about the Knucker hole. Visit St. Mary's and look for the Slayer's slab. And if the water's oddly still, or the reeds shift when there's no breeze, just remember, in Sussex, some dragons never quite die.
Well, this is quite near to me. It's because it's actually near Washington and between Washington and Littlehampton. Lyminster is actually a primary school situated on the other side of the roundabout, so it's quite but yeah, this is a Sussex folklore, and there are rumours that there were other ponds around Sussex that had dragon serpents living in there, but I felt this one was quite a unusual dragon folklore story, and so I wanted to give but anyway, that's been, I hope everything has been working. Hopefully the sound is still on, unlike the test version I had 20 minutes ago. And I hope you've heard. I am thinking about maybe doing this a little bit more often, trying to get my confidence up to be able to speak properly instead of muttering or confidence issues. But thank you very much. If you have settled down and watched it, if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below. If there any creature that you want me to research and do my next video on, please let me please comment and join the community. I'd like to carry on. I mean, at the moment, I think I'm trying to do the World of Dragons, so I'm going to try and research a dragon from each continent and go through the whole story, the history of that dragon and continent. I have done two already, which is the Welsh dragon, quite a meaningful story, and the Truth of St. George, Patrick Saint of England, That's an interesting little bit of research that I did. And then the Babs. But anyway, I'm going to be trying to do videos every week. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in another live stream, or if I'm confident enough, and a little bit more rehearsed.